Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and today I'm happy to say that Jackal is finally getting a rework in Rainbow Six Siege. You may have noticed over the last couple of months that no one's been able to play as this operator, at least in ranked, because he is constantly sidelined. A lot of people find him to be, at bare minimum, an annoying operator to go against, but most would make the argument that he is been overpowered for quite some time, and it looks like Ubisoft has finally taken notice. And so the first big change that Ubisoft is making is that now when you scan a defender's footprints, it will only ping their location a set amount based on the age of said footprints. You guys, whenever played as Jackal, probably notice that when someone's footprints are on the ground, that they have a different color, and that color is based on how old those footprints are. If the footprints are red, they were generated not too long ago, that means that the defender is very close, or if they're blue, that means that they haven't been in that location for quite some time. And so the reason why this is so significant is that now when Jackal scans blue footprints, it's only going to ping that defender's location twice. Green will ping them 3 times, yellow will be 4, and then red will be 5, which is what we're all accustomed to. And so what I love about this change so much is that it's actually going to require Jackal players to think about it a little bit more and make some tough decisions. Do I scan those blue footprints and only get 2 pings but get a better idea of where that defender is? Or do I hold on to it, not scan them because you only get 3 at the end of the day, get a little bit closer so that it's like a green or a yellow so that I can ping them a bit more often? These are now things that you're going to have to take into consideration. On top of that though, and this is really going to be the thing that I think is going to make him much more manageable to go against, is that now when he scans said footprints, they will disappear. I'm sure if you guys ever played or played against Jackal, you know that if you went to reinforce a hatch at the beginning of a match, because your footprints last for like 90 seconds, he can just scan you basically the entire game. It's incredibly annoying. Even if you're anchoring, he has those footprints to kind of fall back on to know where you are at all times. And so by making this change, that's no longer going to be possible. This is once again going to require Jackal players to make some tough decisions. Do I scan those blue ones now, letting my entire team have a general idea of where that player is? It's only going to ping them twice, so it's not a lot of information. Or do I actually follow the trail, because if I scanned them, that trail would no longer be available, it would disappear, get closer, because that's the entire idea of Jackal. He's supposed to track them down, which is not the way that people play as him. They just activate his gadget and then deactivate as soon as they scan, get closer so that I can get more information when I finally do activate his gadget. I think that this is a really clever nerf. The final significant change that they're making to him is that you're no longer going to be able to use his gadget from below. One tactic that a lot of people like to use is that they would go directly below the objective, use his shoddy to open up the ceiling, and then they would see all of these footsteps above them, and obviously they would then scan them. That is no longer going to be possible. They've also updated his UI to make it a bit more user-friendly. It's now going to be much more obvious as to which footprints you're scanning, which is important because if you're really going after the red or the yellow footprints, you want to know that you're getting the right one, and there's also a better indication of when the scan is going to go off. Now, I will admit that even though I really like these changes, I was kind of hoping that Ubisoft was going to add in another counter to Jackal. Not having a counter in this game has obviously caused complications for other characters. Maverick doesn't have a direct counter. Blackbeard doesn't have one. Obviously Jackal, and while I know that some people say that Cav is that counter, and I will agree, that doesn't have any impact on the other 4 operators that are on defense. And so having some way like a mute jammer, for example, that would be able to stop a scan, I think would have been a really nice adjustment. Now, I know that some people might say mute jammer doesn't make any sense, but it also doesn't make any sense that someone can scan your footsteps and then ping your location over and over and over again. Like, this is a video game at the end of the day, and so I don't know if that would have been all that bad. Who knows? Maybe the changes that they're making is going to be enough so that he is no longer that nuisance, but I was really hoping that there was going to be a bit more dynamic between the 2 different different sides. Now, I know that some people are making the argument that this is going way too far and that Jackal doesn't deserve this many nerfs, and to some extent, I can see where they're coming from. A long time ago, Jackal was underperforming. Ubisoft had to step in and give him a couple of small buffs, a few seasons. It took a couple of tries to put him to where he is today, and even back then, people were sleeping on him. He was nowhere near as popular as he was today. But I think that comes down to a couple of factors. The first big one is that Dokkaebi and Lion are no longer nearly as prevalent as they were back in the day. If you wanted to find roamers and lock them down, those were the two best options to do so. Obviously, Jackal was selected in there as well. The Jackal, Dokkaebi, and Lion combo was very common, but I feel like those two operators in particular were a pretty big nuisance. But now that they've gotten nerfed significantly to the point where I think they're actually finally in a balanced state, Jackal hasn't seen any changes, and that's why he's seen so much attention. The other reason why I think that this is the case really just comes down to the meta. People know the ins and outs of Siege. When he was first released, people didn't really know how to use him properly or get the most use out of him. But now, at least in the current meta, it benefits him greatly. And so I think you put all of those in combination, I think that's the reason why he is so powerful in the right hands. All in all, though, I am really excited about the direction that Ubisoft is taking with these nerfs. Not only because it means that people are going to get pinged a lot less frequently, but also it's going to make it much more difficult for those Jackal players to get those continuous pings off. It remains to be seen if this is finally going to put him in place with all of the other characters on offense, but I'm really crossing my fingers that this is going to be enough and we're finally going to be able to play him when we are in ranks. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's short little update video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about these changes. This is on the technical test server, so nothing is set in stone. And so do you like the direction that Ubisoft is taking with this? Do you think that they're going too far? Not enough? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. But yeah, guys, until next time, have a good one and take it easy.